Are live and gotta make sure. All right, let's groom.
Hey, listen, we can't all need hairbrushes.
Yeah, right. I got a rooster tail in the back I got to take care of. But hey, guys, welcome to the third episode of the comic book Marauders. Woohoo! But all right, now this episode, the idea came from Steve. And I'm going to allow Steve to start or talk about the topic and what we're going to be doing today.
All right. Well, can't wait for this show. We were on the comic book crowd where we had the rite of passage, right? That got me thinking about the never have I ever, right? So we're going to play this game, never have I ever. We want the comment section to join in. All right. So that means you have to charge your glass, okay? And we're going to throw out some things. And if you've done it, you take a sip. And if you haven't, you can just hang out.
Can I just make a comment real quick? I want to say in the comment section, if you have done something, if you're drinking and you've done it, just put MW like Matt Woods, like I've done it.
Okay. All right.
Nice.
Madam has spoken, so it shall be.
I'm just saying, like, come on. Like,
all right,
I got
a
hefty to go.
Matt Woods.
Have fun.
I got a list.
I got a list. Note cards. But
hey, Matt,
he's a teacher, so you would.
Let's practice. Let's practice just one. We can chat for a second and then get into it, but let's practice one, okay? Everybody, are you ready?
Ooh.
No.
What do you mean?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Never have I ever played this game before. You have?
I have, yeah.
All right. I knew Madam did the 7 minutes of heaven in the closet.
Say that.
I knew it.
That's a different game.
You said something about oh man.
All right. So we've got it figured out. I've never played this game before, and I'm the one that came up with the idea. So
well, that's going to be a good one. But I want to acknowledge some people in the chat right now.
Hey.
We have Tina Carenson, who we love Tina. Okay. Tina is an amazing human being. Steve White, some Matt Woods guy. Let's get him out of here. I wonder if I can block him. Who else is in here? Oh, we got the Master and Madam Blaster duo right here. We have the awesome Randy Resnake. I love meeting Randy. I got to meet him twice. You guys got to meet him. Such an absolute warm, great human being. Got Steve here again. Oh, we have Brian. And Brian, congrats. Everyone, he just hit 1,000 subs, that's a huge accomplishment. Okay. Brian's going to be to 10,000 before we know it. Okay. The first 1,000, I've heard that's the hardest to get. Oh, we have Murdoch. Murdoch, I just saw, followed me on Instagram, and I followed him back. What a super great guy. And let's see who else we have hanging out around in here. Oh, Nigel. Nigel is a great human being. Nigel, we need to meet up again one of these days that you're in town, because Nigel sometimes is in my neck of the woods. Great human being. Bulldog, okay? He's not here, and he refuses to show up, okay? Well, way to go, Bulldog. Bulldog kind of likes, I posted a picture today of my dog, which is a Bulldog, and yeah, Bulldog kind of like that. Freaky, great show last night. I watched the replay. Oh my gosh, I was laughing on that.
That was amazing. Those videos, the montages were fantastic.
He is so good at those. But all right, so who wants to lead off with the have you ever? And remember, in the chat, put an MW down if you have absolutely done one of these.
I'll go. Madam, you ready? Ladies first.
Oh, that's so kind of you, honey. You're like never so chivalrous like that. All right. Number one, have I ever regretted starting a run?
Starting a comic book
run?
Or a run?
Oh, Matt's drinking.
Oh, wow.
Regret. What was your regret, Matt?
I have this comic book series that I went all in on. It was a Neil Gaiman series, and Neil Gaiman wrote Sandman. He's a great writer, but 1602, okay? And I read that storyline. I actually got them all. I went variant covers, and there's like 9 or 10 episodes or issues in the series. I didn't read it until I got all of the issues. I read this stinking disaster, and it was the most boring drivel you could ever come across. I wanted to rip the books up and throw them away. I even got a 9.8 of issue number 1. And I gave it to somebody that actually likes Neil Gaiman. So I ended up giving that book away to Dave Bratton. But yes. Oh, I couldn't stand that series.
All right. I see Philtastic, Lady Fantastic.
Yeah, Lady Fantastic.
They Matt Woods. So
Yep.
they've done the same thing.
They've done the same.
They commiserate with you.
All right. Never have I ever told coworkers that you collect comic books.
Ooh.
I see Matt is in the closet.
Oh, wait. I took that the wrong way. I thought you said you didn't tell them. Okay. I took that backwards. I'm pretty open. I've told
What's
people.
going on? Like, I'm not sure if I should drink or not. Like, I haven't told him. Like,
Oh, you're a collector.
If you have done
So
it,
confused.
if you have done it, maybe I'm getting it. If you have done the thing, then you.
okay.
I don't know.
So I haven't done it, so I'm
Okay.
not drinking. All right. See,
Matt, you're up.
Gary B's here too.
Gary B's in the house.
And Pretty Fly.
You know, most of my questions are legit positive, but you pointed something out to me, Steve, the other day in the comic book crowd. You're like, hey, since Matt Woods went negative, well, I have a negative question right here. And I don't mean it to be, but it's kind of the same thing that Stephanie asked. Have you ever hated a comic? Ooh.
I guess I hated a comic.
Yeah, you hated ASM 129. Or no, wait. Hulk 181 you hated.
Actually, I don't like ASM 50, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't like the cover. Yeah.
Hate and not like.
Right. But I can't think of one. Like, I know I've been reading comics, but I know, like, I can't think of the ones I hate so much I put them down. I can't remember them to tell you right now.
All right. I can tell you, growing up, the Vigilante series, I found out how it ended. And so I was a young kid. That got me, I don't know, I wanted to check that out because it was taboo. You know, he offs himself at the end, Matt, if you're familiar with that.
I never read it, no. I know.
So then I got the books, and then as an adult, I reread it, and I was like, I couldn't handle it. I was like, holy moly, that was difficult. I love the covers, but anyway, yeah.
Fantastic. That's a question.
Oh,
What God.
my wife has a question.
Mrs. Tastic.
Is your comic set up in a designated area of its own or in its shared space? Ooh, good question.
I'll take this one. It is strategically placed all throughout the house, and so not to look so suspicious or gain too much attention.
Madam, how many has she had already? This case, we're in the living room. There's a couch right there, the TV. We're in the living room, so comic book stuff is in a common area in the house.
Yes.
And then most of the books are in the closet and tucked
the
away.
loft.
Right, but
And the garage.
But
which I
this
just
is in the
saw,
common area.
garage.
this is in the common area. So Mrs. Tastic, we're in the common area.
They're
right
everywhere.
now. The kids are locked away.
I'm surprised they're not in the kitchen.
All right.
What? That,
All right,
that was,
here
a,
we go.
that was a
Let's
very good
roll.
question.
Never have I ever purchased an entire collection.
Ooh.
Kind of. Maybe.
Why are you drinking? You purchased an entire
Oh, you mean?
collection.
I mean, if I haven't, then I don't, right?
No, you're getting this all wrong, honey. whatever. Just forget about the never have I ever. And if somebody says, have you ever purchased a collection? If the answer is yes, you drink.
You got
If
it.
okay. All right.
If the answer is yes, we drink. Is that what we're doing?
That's the listen. Next week or next time we shoot a show, we're gonna play Spin the Bottle, people.
Wait, are we doing true north and south? Because you guys are in a different state than I am.
I know. You're gonna have to meet me in the middle, Matt Woods.
We got a vortex in Sedona that's gonna mess everything up.
All right, madam, go.
Okay. All right. Never have I ever swore to stop collecting, but didn't.
I'm all in.
Nope. Yep. All right, we're good.
Woo! Yeah. Hey, my wife all the time, she makes comments. She goes, if somebody ever says, hey, about me collecting comic books, she goes, hey, he doesn't do drugs. He's never hit me. He collects comic books and drinks coffee, okay? She's cool with my vices, all right? So we're pretty good.
That was like Chuck's.
Comics and coffee. That's your vices. That's
Yeah, I mean, come on, you know.
Very nice. Very nice. Oh, we got people drinking, I see.
Lady, she's no quitter.
I wonder how many comics Lady Fantastic has in her collection.
Ooh, we're gonna have to figure that one out.
All right, Matt, do you got one for us?
Oh, mercy.
Oh, I do. All right, now you were from the great state of Louisiana, born in Florida, moved to Louisiana, spent time in Oklahoma, Germany. Now you're in Arizona, but
Wow.
I know. Don't ask. Yeah, goofy memory. Rain Man.
Been to Iraq a couple times, Kyrgyzstan, Bosnia. I can keep going and going.
You're right.
He
Okay.
knows that, right?
Anywho's, have you ever? And this is for both of you. Have you ever eaten frog legs?
Should I drink twice?
No.
Had them
You did a
all.
lot of them.
I don't know if anyone else in the chat has eaten frog legs.
Frog legs,
I don't
yeah.
think there's.
Not a lot of
Buddy.
meat on the bone, but tastes good, I tell you. Not a lot of meat on the bone.
I mean, I can see if I'm like in the show Naked and Afraid or something, you know, and there's nothing to eat. There's some frog legs there. Like, I'll eat a frog leg probably then.
Yeah, they're actually not bad whatsoever. I wouldn't go out of my way to catch a whole bunch of frogs just to fry them up. But if they're there, I'll eat them.
Did you see the gigantic toad in Australia? I'm not sure it was Australia, but it was like a 7-pounder. It was gigantic.
Oh, the one they're having trouble getting rid of?
It made the news. It
Yeah.
was like, yeah. Man, that would be a meal. That'd get you through the neck and afraid, I tell you.
Steve White just says yuck. And
No.
Randy says they taste like chicken.
They do taste like chicken. I was like, am I the only one in the comments section? Jeez.
Yeah.
Gator. Who's ever eaten gator?
I've
Oh,
eaten
gator.
before,
Yeah,
actually.
gator. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's rubbery. Again, I'll eat it if it's there. I won't. I ate it once. I won't go out of my way to get it.
It's like rattlesnake or something. It's just too.
All right. Lady Fantastic has about 4,500 comics.
Woo!
Yeah.
That's quite a bit.
Impressive.
All right. Here we go. Never have I ever written on a comic.
Mm.
Wait, I have not written on a comic. I messed up. But Matt Woods,
All right, regurgitate that back into the glass.
no,
Real
Matt
quick.
Woods, you've written on a comic, my friend.
No, I heard what you said phonetically, and I'm like, no, I've never written on a comic. Remember, it's a positive. You
Hold
said
on,
if
hold
we
on.
have, if the answer is yes, you drink. I've never written
You've
on a
written
comic.
on a comic.
Never.
You did not sign the Reggie's Gibbon around the world.
Holy smokes, I'm a flat out liar. Oh my
Liar.
God.
Pants on fire, Matt Woods. Are you wearing pants right now?
Stop it.
Stop,
Yeah.
drop, and roll, okay?
Remember, we know things about each other here. All right.
But hey, Durs, thanks for
Balls are
stopping
opening
by.
up. I can see it now.
You got one, madam?
I can find one right here. Let's see. Yeah. Have I ever thrown a comic book away in the trash? I want to see the comic section because I'm really curious. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Matt Woods is like, yeah.
I've thrown some comics away. I'm not going to lie.
You know, I've probably thrown away 300 or 400 books, and I didn't know what I was doing. Okay. You guys have heard the story. I was in college. I decided I wanted to read Conan. I started to, buy them up. I bought lots. Well, I didn't want to throw away my Conan run once I made it, but I wasn't really a comic book collector then. So what I did was I knew the better grade books were the more valuable ones, if you will. So what I did was I would have 3 or 4 copies of pretty much each issue. And that's what I had to buy in order to complete the run. I'd buy lots, and sometimes there'd be doubles of what I already had. Well, I just took the ones that were in bad grade or not as in good grade, and I just threw them in the garbage. So I'm mad at myself because I probably threw away at least 2 full complete runs of Conan the Barbarian, not knowing what I was doing.
Oh boy, Gary B's getting fired up.
You're
roasting. Gary, sorry, Gary. I could have given you an extra copy of like a whole series.
I went and did a Craigslist hunt, and the guy was tearing down a shed for someone here in Arizona. So he was just a construction guy, and he tore the shed down, and there were comic books everywhere, unprotected all over the place. And he literally took them. I think on my Instagram, there's still a photo of like all these comics just in the back of his truck, trashed. But there were some gems in there that I could salvage. And so I threw a lot of those away and just kept the good stuff. But
weren't they pretty moldy?
They were, yeah. The shed was leaky shed. I mean, it doesn't rain a lot in Arizona, but there were. I'll tell you this, Matt. There were Mark Jeweler insert books. There were some good ones that survived the pile and things like that. So,
oh, jeez.
All right. Never have I ever backed out of a trade, a comic book trade.
To a degree. I've been in negotiations, and I have to clarify this. I've been in negotiations and it didn't go my way and I walked away, but I've never backed out of a trade that both parties had agreed to.
Okay.
So I don't think that's I don't think that's backing away from a trade. I think that's just negotiating.
Okay. Madam, you got one?
Sure. Okay. Never have I ever hidden comic purchases from whomever that you need to hide comic purchases from in your life. Oh, you're so guilty, Matt. I'm so disappointed.
You should tell the story on this one, Matt.
Me? Or her?
No, help me out, man. Tell a story so I don't have to.
I've never truly hidden a comic purchase from my wife. But there have been some times like I'll get something in the mail and I'm like, the wife would wonder, hey, where did that come from? And like, so maybe I just like took it upstairs, not necessarily hiding it, but just not necessarily flashing it either. So
I see a lot of
you're blushing now, man.
I see a lot of our friends have done the same thing, so we're okay.
Hey, I told you though, the secret is to encourage your wife's own hobby. So if she ever says anything, I could point to her hobby and be like, yeah, this is not a fair trade. Okay. So.
All right. Never have.
Should Matt go next, I think.
I'm on a roll.
Oh, are you?
I know you're just skipping me left and right, bro. That's all right.
Go ahead, Matt.
Whew. Has your collection, your organization, has your collection ever become messy?
I better, Steve. Here, let me get you a straw, honey.
It's not messy. It's just unorganized. That's how I like it.
Well, that's pretty much another word for messy.
I'm not drinking to that.
Yes, you should be. You should be doubting that whole
That's
thing.
how I want it. I like it that way. It's like a surprise every time I go into a short box.
Hey, Bulldog has hidden comics this week.
Yeah, there you go. All right, are you going? Am I going?
I'll go. Okay. Never have I ever regretted buying a figurine.
Nope.
Nope.
Anybody?
Nope.
No one's
Maybe
I don't buy a lot of
Like
them.
dusting those things off.
No, maybe you have regretted a significant other buying a figurine, but that person is fine.
All right.
Okay.
I have some figurines, and I actually have two really nice ones. Tina got Spencer one years ago before I even really knew Tina. She got him this like super dope Darth Vader statue. And then I have this pretty dope Conan statue. Someday I need to do a video about this Conan statue. I got that when I was in Spain last year. But the rest of them, they're relatively cheap. You know, they're not anything. I just picked them up. Well, they were cheap.
I remember you had you did dropped a video where you were buying it in the store and they were taking it out of the box and showing it to you, but it'd be great to see it in the house.
Yeah, I think I put that on Instagram. Maybe did I put it on YouTube? I don't think so. Maybe I put it at the end of a video or something.
All right. Never have I ever cracked out a slab to get a book out of it personally.
Mitts off.
No,
Never
you haven't
have I
done
ever.
it. Honey, the game is okay.
I'm just thirsty.
She's just thirsty.
Maybe we're just thirsty, Steve. Back
I
off.
know the
already.
people in the comment section have cracked slabs. I have not. I've sent books in to get cracked open at CGC or whatever. Yeah.
I've done that.
It sounds
Actually-
like such a felony, you know? You broken open a crack slab. You crack open a slab, you know?
Well,
It
there's
does.
a lot of reasons to do it, but yeah, I
I
haven't
don't
done
trust myself. I've never done it, and I'm afraid of damaging a book accidentally.
it.
And
Yeah.
the books that I have slabbed are valuable to me, so I don't want to be messing with that.
All right.
Yeah.
Very nice. All right.
Is it my turn?
Madam?
Madam?
Yeah,
Rose.
what's the man go, honey?
Oh, okay. I don't know whose turn it is. We're just having fun. All right.
Mac-
Have you ever been outside your comfort zone when buying a comic book? Ooh, ooh. I don't know. He's waiting for a drink. I did it. So you
I
both.
before he can.
I'd love to hear what you have in mind.
Riri.
So what was your story, Stephanie?
Riri.
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 Riri Williams or
Yes. Yeah.
You for you.
Good for you.
Why for me? I was comfortable.
Were you comfortable?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I wasn't comfortable.
Okay. Well, that's why you drink. Did you
Yep,
drink?
I did.
Okay.
what is your story, Steve?
I abstain from that one. I get a mulligan or abstaining. I
I got a
don't.
mulligan right now. Okay.
I'm not prepared to share that story.
I always love hearing Reggie's story. He bought multiple comic books, but the one was he met some guy behind a 7-Eleven, and he ended up getting a Iron Man 55. And I'm just buying comic books behind a 7-Eleven just sounds sketchy. So, but never
Yeah.
had that happen yet.
That's a great one. I remember that story.
That's
I think,
hilarious.
yeah. All right. Well, thanks for letting me not share that story. I don't want to have PTSD on camera.
It's your mulligan.
Is it my turn or Madam's?
I'll go.
Okay.
I think it's Madam's.
Okay.
All right. Have you ever found comics you have legitimately forgotten about?
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm unorganized, so
I don't want to say. I don't want to say I have all my comic books organized and like their catalogs and all that. I don't want to say I completely forgot, but just books that as you're going through the collection or reorganizing, you're like, oh snap, I hadn't thought of this book in years. So yeah, kind of.
No, you probably should not have drank there, Matt.
I'm going to be excited to see what the comment section has to say about this one. Never have I ever friends and familyed a large amount of money to somebody that you really like, someone on Instagram or somebody you don't really know very well. Before you receive the item.
Yeah. I think we all have done that.
Not a good strategy. I didn't get burned, but boy.
Yeah. I think that's a comic book community IG thing where you basically just have to trust somebody and you easily could be burned on that one. I've done that. My Daredevil #1, I did that. And that was for a few $1,000. I was not that's not something I just willingly give over. But I did that day, and I don't know. But it turned out all right.
You did you looked at their account and you recognized that a lot they had been around for a while and all that stuff, I'm sure.
Absolutely 100%. But you know what? It just takes a person one time to be a crook.
Absolutely.
But you're right. They were reputable, and I'll still vouch for them, but they just one time, I'm not going to send it to you. And what would my recourse have been? That money was already shipped off PayPal, friends, and family. So he could have done whatever he wanted.
All right.
Certain amount of trust in the community. Yeah. All right. Have you ever damaged a comic on purpose or not?
Oh,
of course. Or not.
Yeah, I think everybody's dropped a comic at some point. Yeah.
Or even unpacking it. Earlier on, someone had put that, you slashing and dicing, and you cut a comic.
You cut a comic. I'm imagining someone like ripping it out like a serial killer, like I'm getting an E, like finding an E for their.
You just don't know. Also, the other person packed it, and you don't know that they took the most expensive book on top, face up, right by the tape where you're cutting. You don't know that. You assume there's like some protection.
Yeah, I've actually twice got tape. Of all the books I've taken out of bags and boards, twice I got a tape stick. One time it just came off, no issue whatsoever. Another Golden Age book that I have, it peeled the paint right off the cover of the comic book. I'm still kind of bummed about it. Not too bummed. I'm not losing sleep.
All right. Who's up?
Never have I. Oh, Matt Woods. It's going big.
Go, Matt.
Have you ever hoped for a comic book to turn into a movie or a comic book story or something?
Yeah, sure.
What do you got?
Me?
Oh, am I? Yeah.
Yeah, you go. You're big. I'm little. You're big.
You're big, honey.
Oh. I'm Big Spoon?
Yes, you are.
Craven's Last Hunt comes to mind. That's low-hanging fruit. I really like the Punisher Limited series. I'd like to see that. That would be easy and fun. So that would be me. Now, are you saying it had to come to fruition, or?
Yeah, we'll say that. Yeah.
Then I'm probably out. I didn't have to drink. Like some storyline has been made into a movie or something. But yeah. What about you?
Yes. World War Hulk. Okay. Now, it's never made a live action movie, but the cartoon movie was absolutely dope. Okay. Actually, I think it was Planet Hulk. It wasn't World War Hulk, but those two stories, while being separate, they're so interconnected. It's almost a continuation. So no, they did a cartoon movie of that. Probably, I don't know, late 2000s, 2007, 2008, somewhere in there. Absolutely amazing movie.
The Killing Joke, where they did the cartoon version, was the animated version, was fantastic.
I've never seen that. Is it pretty good?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he says.
All right, madam.
Yes. All right.
Yes.
Have you ever lied about owning a comic?
Lied about owning.
Like that's real, dark, but
It's real dark. Have I ever lied about owning? No.
really? Okay.
Oh,
Okay. Well.
Yeah,
No.
no.
All right. Well,
No. Good one.
it's on my list.
No, it's good. You never know. Are we getting any Matt Woods in there? Has
Yeah.
anyone lied about
Has
owning?
anyone lied about owning a book?
I know Philtastic has
Raise
a
your
whole
hand and get your
short
scarlet letter.
box of those romance books he doesn't want anyone to know about, which I have. But all right. No, never have I ever regretted selling a book. Seller's remorse.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Can we do it halfway?
Sure, go ahead.
What I mean is okay, I sold an Ultimate Fallout number 4. Okay, I sold it at its peak. I lucked out. I was a 9.6, and I think I sold it for $1,250. I think that same book is going for like $500 right now. I turned that around and I put it towards that Daredevil I was talking about just 5 minutes ago. So I would like to still have that, but at the same time, I'd rather have the book that I have for it. So, I would do it all over again.
I have a great story I don't think I've ever shared. One of my goals, exclusive, and we got a bunch of Matt Woods times 10. I love that.
Oh,
It's probably
Murdoch.
Yeah. All right. So,
Ooh.
Maybe 3-4 years ago, before I started the road to get Amazing Spider-Man 1 through 100 signed by Stan, I actually posted 41. I had an 8.0 or 8.5. I still have it. Amazing Spider-Man 41 signed by Stan Lee and John Romita. And I put it on eBay and somebody bought it. It was around Christmas.
That's a first appearance of Rhino, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
And that one also has a date stamp on it, which I really love. But at the time I didn't have that goal and I was like just interested in getting original art or whatever. So I put it on eBay. Someone pulled the trigger and then they messaged me and said, "Hey, can I pay you in a week?" And I was like, "Sure, no problem." And then the week came and went and they said, "Sorry, I can't purchase the book." And I took it offline and then I started thinking about it and I'm like, what the hell am I doing? These are amazing. And that sort of started me thinking about trying to accumulate. I probably had 15 of them at that point. And that's what sort of started it. Like almost regretting 41 getting away.
Oh, so you still have it?
Yes. But that's the one that kicked it all into gear.
That's what started it. So if they would have paid you right away, would you be after this goal right now?
I don't know the answer to that.
Oh, Stephanie, you almost dodged a bullet.
You almost did. All right, you're up, Matt.
All right. Let's see. Have you ever bought a comic book just to keep a run going? Meaning you had 1 through 250 and you just bought it to keep it going.
Curious about the chat.
Yeah. I think we all have done that.
I think it's going to be a lot in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I collect Spawn and Spider-Man and Conan, and some of these books all the Conans I love, but honestly, not every Conan book is a great book, but I bought it to keep the run going. So I know, Stephanie, newsflash, there's
I'm going to write that down as a quote, Matt. Not every Conan book.
Well, it depends on who the writer is. If Gary's still in a chat, I think he'll agree with me. Some of the comics were okay at best.
Madam,
But most
what's
of them
going
are
on you?
amazing. I mean, let's be honest.
All right, I think I have a good one here. Never have I ever purchased a PGX slab.
Oh, I have.
I'm not supposed to drink. I didn't do it. I think I'm just thirsty, but
I've been drinking nonstop because I'm thirsty. But no, speaking of the great state of Louisiana, I was in New Orleans at Crescent City Comics. Okay, it's a really cool comic book shop there. Reggie, it was coming up on 10,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel, and he was doing a giveaway. Well, I saw a 7.0 PGX Amazing Spider-Man 110. And so I bought that book, and then I mailed it off to Reggie to do a giveaway whenever he got to 10,000 subs. So I have touched a PGX slab. I wasn't entirely I thought they were just going to be junk. It wasn't as bad as I thought. And I did a dirty grading of it. I didn't open it up and look in the interior pages, but I felt the grade was pretty close. You know, maybe 6.5 at the worst, 7.5 at the best, but it was 7.0, so I didn't think it was horrible.
very cool. I see a lot of people have it. Some have. We had someone submit.
Yeah, Murdoch has.
Very nice. All right, madam, you're up.
I am? Okay.
Yep.
I have never have I ever shifted character alliance due to pop culture popularity.
Whoa, say this again?
Yeah, shifted character alliance due to pop culture popularity.
Man, you have to go to college for madams. Shifted alliances due to pop culture popularity.
Yeah, like the Black Panther movie comes up, and all of a sudden you're like, yeah, I want a Black Panther comic. You know, like you get caught up in the world.
Well, that's FOMOing. Shifting alliances sounds more devious, but
yeah, shifting alliances means I'm now working for the Chinese military or something like that. That's not so drastic, okay?
Only Matt can say that. He's not in anymore.
Not in anymore, but I'm not working for them. But shifting alliances, you mean just check out a different character because of the popularity? Yeah, I think
or catch FOMO. I think that's on our list.
I think the shifting alliances term really is very Star Wars.
I'm switching over to the dark side.
Yeah, switching alliances.
All right. You're up, Matt.
I'm up?
Yeah.
Have you ever bought a comic book that you really truly didn't care for, but you bought it because, well, I'm a collector, and most collectors have this book?
No,
there's one.
I mean, I'm not really.
I did.
Oh, what book? You're looking at it.
It kind of goes into FOMO. I know, I'm seeing it. It's right there. Okay, so.
Uh-oh.
This one. Now, it's kind of FOMO. I don't really care about Venom. I kind of like the Donny Cates series, but I just got it one day because everybody and their brother seemed to be showing it off, and I'm like, you know what? This might be a good book to have someday. And I got caught up in hype, and yeah, I went and paid money for it, and I don't know.
It's a slab 9.8.
I mean, I guess I drank for that exact same, sort of that timing is when I discovered YouTube, and that was hot as heck, and Instagram for that matter. You're right. That was everywhere. I certainly have some of those books. You know I do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think that was that's more FOMO. I was thinking like, oh, I went out and got a New Mutants 98 because that's a book that I'm supposed to have or something. Like I didn't do that necessarily.
Yeah.
I want to have one of those though. Let me put that out there.
I'm looking at mine. It's up there on the wall. It's kind of nice at this angle where my camera is. So I can look at my room and I can see all my walls and the displays on them. So.
You could slide a cot right between the drawers. We could have a sleepover and I could just look up at your books all night. It would be
there's
amazing.
a nightlight in here. You could look at them. You can read them. I mean, pull them out of the drawers. Yeah, absolutely. It's a sleepover extravaganza.
You have an Amazing Spider-Man 129 as the front of one of your drawers. Is that a facsimile or is it a real?
Oh, no, that's the real one. That's the one that has Brian or James O'Brien or.
Oh, yeah. Someone wrote on a comic book. Someone drank.
It's here somewhere, like close to me. Aha. Yeah, somebody is kind of famous. Hey, take the tape off so you don't stick your comic book. That's the lesson we talked about today. But who signed my comic book? I have to figure this one out. I think it's on the back page.
Uh-oh.
At least he didn't sign the cover.
Shane O'Brien. That's who it is. Shane O'Brien.
He better have drank
this comic book.
He better have drank when we said never have
Shane O'Brien.
Oh, we're drinking to Shane.
Shane O'Brien. That should be the drinking game, Stephanie. Not Matt Wood.
O'Brien knew what was going on in life and decided to make his mark on the world in that comic book.
50 years ago, Shane O'Brien, 49 years ago, signed his name on his comic book. And he's now YouTube famous because, all my tens and tens of viewers and subscribers are going to be watching this. So, by the way, that is not a facsimile. That's a real deal.
Very
That's
nice.
Cool.
Why is it out? How come it's not in the drawer front?
I was going to send it off to CGC, and I'm thinking about it, and I have it ready to be pressed. And yeah, that was about 6 months ago, and it's still sitting there. So.
Yep. That's the CGC pile. There's some good stuff in there.
Oh yeah, I got some nice books there that I'm ready to send off. I'm waiting on books to come back. The Todd McFarlane signing, I sent my books in late. I mean, they got there in time, but they were near the end. Yeah, they're still not signed. Todd McFarlane has to go back for a third time, I think, before they get signed. I guess people submitted a whole ton of books down there for that signing.
I'm telling you, I think when it's all said and done, Todd McFarlane might end up signing the most comic books that'll be on the CGC census. And I mean, he's going to do another round in a couple of years. Yeah. So anyway.
He kicked this off, man. I mean, him late 2019, he kicked off the signing craze. And you're the guy who got me to send in my ASM 300 to be signed.
Man, I'm pulling for you.
You were telling me to send that thing in 2019. I didn't send it in that signing, but I'm like, I rolled the dice and we're sending it in. We're going to figure out what happens with it. So that you are going to be the guy I'm cursing when it comes back in 9-4.
Oh boy. No pressure. Todd, be gentle. Be gentle, Todd. Okay.
Right. Whose turn for a question?
I've got a couple left. All right. Never have I ever gotten in a confrontation over comics. We could have drank each other's drink, and I think that would answer the question. So Matt, no confrontations. The wife's never gotten upset
No,
about
honestly,
too many boxes.
That's marriage is solid.
the wife has never really ever given me a hard time about comic. Not when I say not really, my wife has never given me a hard time about comic books. She really hasn't. Like, listen, I get her the pretty things she likes. I pay the bills. You know, the bills aren't late. Like, I take care of the responsibilities first. So she's never really given me a hard time about it. You know, and if she wants to go on vacation, I'll be like, hey, let's save up for it. Okay. Here we go. So I'm pretty solid on that issue. Okay. I take care of the important things first. And then I waste a whole lot of money on comic books.
I remember it was funny. Some of the other YouTubers will go to flea markets and things, and they'll have like confrontations with the I was here first, and they're elbowing each other out for the comics and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I see Phil says he has, but not with his wife. So
now Pretty Fly had a comment in here, and let me try to find it. I want to answer that. I don't know. It's not showing up. But anyhow, Pretty Fly said, I handled that ASM 129 like it was a facsimile. And well, you got to realize, Pretty Fly, that it's a pretty low-grade book as it is. Me just touching it, it's not going to damage it anymore. But I know somebody that doesn't like to touch comic books, that's terrified of them. But, you know, sometimes it's part of being a collector, okay? And I am going to be pressing the book, so any damage, I'll fix it.
I want to get up my Joker with a fingerprint.
Forget it. All right. Do you have any left?
Yes, I do.
All right. Let's get cracking.
Right. Have you ever knowingly gotten a better deal from a friend for a comic book? Knowingly.
Uh-oh. Matt's reaching.
I'm reaching.
You put a lot of stuff there, man.
Oh.
I have thousands of books here, okay? This book came from this guy. I know him a little bit. He's an all right guy. I messaged him. I called him in the morning one time, and lo and behold, we talked about it, and we made a deal to buy this comic book. So, yeah, I feel like I got a pretty good deal. I don't know for a fact. I really don't know what it's going for, but that guy that sold me the Stanley Todd McFarlane signed book. And I had an ulterior motive for buying this. Steve is breaking up with Todd McFarlane. And I just want to be able to be like, hey, Steve, here you can remember what it was like. Okay, so this is a part of that first one.
That's the first yellow label Stanley run I ever put together. And it's definitely broken up at this point. So over half are gone by now. So very nice, Matt. Very nice.
I didn't drink for that, but I am now.
All right.
Matt
All
Woods.
right. Matt Woods. Well, if he says it, you definitely have to drink. All right. What do you got?
Matt Wood says that because I have a beer bong or something. Man.
Whoa. Simmer down there.
Have you ever caught yourself staring at a cover and appreciate the art on that cover more and more over time?
Everyone should Matt Woods in here.
Absolutely.
You're right.
Absolutely. Do you have one in mind? Particular?
Yes. Batman 227. I'm looking at it right over here. Batman number 227. It is an homage to Batman or Detective Comics 31 from the late or early 40s. Such an amazing Neil Adams cover, but I'll catch myself, especially because it's on a wall right next to my desk, right off camera. And I'll just catch myself staring at this thing and just being amazed at the detail. It's got like super crisp lines to it, but then it gives it like this misty look at the same time. I don't know how to explain it because that sounds very contradictory, but he hit it out of the park with that cover. But I kind of liked it when I first saw it, but I like it more and more over time. Okay, but you drank for a book. What cover did you like, or do you appreciate more over time? Ooh, Web #1.
Yep.
Really?
It really.
Yeah.
It's an underrated cover. It really is.
Yeah, I just think Webb didn't get any love forever, and I don't know if it really has a lot of love now. But just the black costume Spider-Man and that era, that cover, it just grew on me and grew on me over time, and I really love it. So we got Frog Boy to hook it up, and he nailed it. So
Frog Boy does some amazing stuff. Did you see Jay from Pressable Defects? He's posted on Instagram. He got the ASM 129 cover done by Frog Boy like a year or 2 years ago. He just got another Punisher cover
from the
sent to
limited
his house.
series #1. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful display, but yeah, but those Frog Boys, you know, and we're not talking about a Punisher, we're talking about Webb, but when you have a cover that is done by a frog or done by Frog Boy, you just catch yourself looking at it because it's just so large, it's so detailed. You know, it's amazing. But hey, Steve, you can slow down a little bit.
We're almost done, I think.
What, Stephanie? What's your cover that you appreciate more and more?
I gotta tell you, it's always really been Aldi Granoff, the Scarlet Witch and Vision. I really think of it as the Pietà of comic book covers.
That is a sweet book.
I know. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's beautiful. I mean, it's very moving, and yeah, I don't hate looking at it.
No.
All right, I've got some obscure ones I kind of glossed over. So here, let's try this one. Never have I ever purchased a fake accidentally. You know? Like you thought you were getting Star Wars #1 first printing, but it was one of the not Whitman's, but they sold them. It didn't have a barcode. There were so many little variants, or you know what I mean? Others come to mind like that were reprinted, and you thought
because I have one of those. That's not the first print Star Wars #1, but I knew what I was buying. Exactly,
but there's a lot of examples where you can kind of accidentally. The Silver Surfer #1. There's a masterpiece. That's not what it's called. Submariner #1 has a sort of later.
That's what they are. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And you might have thought, oh man, I'm getting the #1, and you so that's not really a fake. So,
wait, what are we faking now, Pretty Fly?
It's not really a fake, but you kind of rope-a-doped yourself, and you're paying close enough attention or experienced enough.
But I know of Alan's Golden Record reprint. Okay, that's an amazing book. I remember he showed that on the comic book crowd, and we were all amazed. I forget which one it was, but it was a high-grade book. Alan, what Golden Record reprint do you have?
All right. Do you got another one?
I just have one that.
Our last one from Adam.
Well, geez, now that's a lot of pressure.
Wow.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Never have I ever. I was just going to say like a simple one, like sent a comic to CGC.
That's a great one. Never have I ever. There are some people who've never sent a comic to CGC.
Yeah.
I certainly have. All right.
It's a cherry. I can't
Whoa, madam.
That was an easy
Videos
one.
not made for children.
Way to go, Murdoch. I love the confidence.
All right.
Yeah.
Never have I ever written a comic story or done like comic art, like trying to create a comic book in some fashion.
That's a big stretch. I never.
No, I haven't. So I think Matt's just getting blasted.
Yeah, I've never done it. Yeah.
Yeah, me neither. I know like Joe had a comic he did when he was a kid that was, yeah, that's pretty cool. So more of the comments section. All right, we're seeing Philtastic's done some art or story.
Philtastic's an artist. In fact, there is a little word here. This was an AOK from Phil. I love this little thing. It's a permanent display.
No, it's Kramer.
It is.
Aww.
He knows I'm like Kramer painting.
All right,
That's
Phil.
awesome.
I'd like one just like that, but I want the George Costanza in his underwear on the couch. I don't know if you can get all that on that ornament, but if you want to hook a brother up, I'd like the Costanza.
That is the greatest painting ever. I want to pose like that one of these days. Just put it on my living room wall, not tell my wife I'm putting it up there, and just wait till she finds it.
If I ever
Matt Woods, I can draw that, so you be careful what you swoosh for.
If I see one of Matt's if Matt's next video thumbnail is him George Costanzaing on his couch, I'm not guaranteeing I'm going to watch that video. That's all I'm saying.
And we're going to make it happen. Get out the boxers and just pose.
Oh, Fantastic Four. That very cool.
Wow. His son, it was owned by Jack Kirby. That's pretty cool, Agent. Wait, do I call him Agent or Agent DeCamp or just DeCamp? I don't know what to call you, but that's pretty cool that Jack Kirby owned it.
Agent.
All right,
Agent.
Matt. Last call. Do you have any bangers left? You've been holding out on us?
Have you ever not cared for a comic book artist that everyone else just automatically thinks is great?
Well, then you better drink.
Well, I guess I have, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, geez, I feel like I'm going to get accosted.
I have two.
All right.
So what's
Why don't
yours,
you go
Matt?
first? Madame's nervous. I know who she doesn't like. Scotty Young.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. She's not
Okay,
a Scotty Young.
three.
Oh, Matt doesn't like Scotty Young either. All right.
Yeah.
I don't dislike Scotty Young. I think Scotty Young, I think his art has a place in this world for Sunday morning comic strips in the newspaper. But as far as like a serious artist for comic book art, I just don't see it. I don't think that Scotty Young is anything spectacular. But I'm going to say two. And people are going to crucify me for this. But Jim Lee, I'm not the biggest fan of Jim Lee.
Yeah, I was going to say Jim Lee too. Oh my God.
It's, much better than I can draw. I mean, I can't talk smack on the guy. But I just think he's so overrated. And then Frank Miller. Frank Miller is another one. And I think...
Whoa.
I know. People are like,
plug his
you
ears.
got little Frank Miller behind you, okay? I'll go JR.
Hold on. Jeez.
What's that little Frank
Let me
Miller?
plug his ears first, Matt. What were you saying about Frank? You don't like him?
I just think he's overrated. I don't think he's anything special. But I know everyone else likes him.
Frank's saying something.
See, Reggie's known as Jim Lee's the man. And I think Jim Lee's just okay at best, okay? Sorry, Reggie.
Reggie's in the house.
It's better him too.
Reggie
He says no, Junior. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think Junior's that great of an artist. But the Blasters had a Little Frank Miller versus Little JR competition one day. So on the comics you guys picked, I went with JR.
He's on the roof. Listen, Frank wanted you to know he can read lips, Matt. And he's not very happy with you.
If Little Frank is like standing over top of me, over my bed as I'm sleeping tonight, and I wake up and see him, I'm going to be terrified of Little Frank Miller.
He's like a little Frank Miller dream catcher in our house.
Nice. But And how about you, Steve? What artist do you think isn't your favorite, but everyone else just assumes he's great?
I'm going to agree with Reggie. John Romita Jr. I mean, it actually got worse over time. Like,
yes,
if earlier,
well,
not.
Whenever he was doing a lot of art with his dad, some of that is like amazing work. But I'm just wondering how much was Senior influencing and helping out Junior. I don't know, but Junior's not bad. I don't want to bash, John Romita Jr. He's just not his dad, I think, is what we compare him to. It's hard to be a John Romita Sr.
All right. Very nice.
All right. Whose question's next?
Never have I ever reread a storyline.
Oh.
You haven't done that?
I mean, maybe a little short, like a mini series. I'll reread mini series a lot, but I can barely hang in on a long storyline. It's just so brutal for me. If something goes askew, I'm off the train. So I'm not rereading a storyline.
Never? See, I've read Secret Wars, the original 84 version. I've read that thing probably half a dozen times. I have a trade paperback of it. It's such a great, fun story. And if you wait 4 or 5 years, you forget what the heck all the details of the story are. So it's like rereading it all over again for me. So I have done it.
I will reread a lot of the Frank Miller Batman's storylines, The Crow. I will reread The Walking Dead. I don't get all the way through it, but I love getting to a certain point, so I've reread that. So I guess I have. But
yeah, you have. But Reggie's down here saying his art is trash. I don't know. He has the most iconic signature that isn't even a signature. It's a star. But you know what Reggie has that nobody else in this panel has? He has his signature down at CGC up on the wall, and none of us have that. So, yeah.
That is super cool.
And he also has, right out of the gate, the question that you lied about, the comic book that you have written on, Matt Woods.
Oh, he does have. I did lie. Reggie, you missed it. The question was, have you ever written on a comic book? And I'm like, no, don't think I ever have, but Master called me out. I absolutely wrote on a comic book, and a bunch of people wrote on it. It was an ASM 110 that we ended up mailing off to you. So that book went all over the world before it made its way to Reggie. But I don't think I've ever written on any other comic books.
All right. Last call. Do you have any more, Matt?
Let's see. I have a few more.
I got one.
All right. Let's do one more per person.
We'll do Madam's first.
All right.
Never have I ever regretted sending away a comic as an A-OK?
No.
Me neither.
I like giving A-OKs.
Yeah. You send it off and you let it go. You just let it go.
Yeah, let the world appreciate something. Absolutely. That's one of the fun parts of the hobby.
I know 1G has, when he was doing the Go Collect giveaway, that there were some bangers in there.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
He gave away some early ASMs that were like, whoa. So there were some bangers in a Go Collect giveaway. But my last question for the night: have you ever wanted to own a comic book shop? Ooh.
Probably as a kid, he said under his breath.
Probably as a kid.
No, I think Stephanie, we know what Steve's retirement job is going to be. You're going to own a comic shop.
When Steve and I got married, my mother alluded to the fact that Steven might want to own a comic book shop in the future. I remember her saying to me,
your mom?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. Yep.
I think
She knew. She's a very smart woman.
I mean, it's great. I mean, hats off to everybody. We love our local comic book shop. I just think with all the online venues, like I'm selling books right now. I have things for sale right now on eBay, through Instagrails. I'm trying, I've got books on Shortbox. So I don't know if I need a brick and mortar store, you know.
Honey, look at everyone who's going into those LCSs that are like wanting that personal connection. They want to talk to someone else about comics. They want to talk to someone else about their, you know, what they think is going on in the comic book world. Yeah. And they're not getting that from the an online comic book shop. I
think a comic book shop isn't mainly about comic books. Our local comic book shop has Funko Pops and shirts and socks and what I mean, like that isn't. That I know that's what they need. They Legos, keychains, whatever. That I don't want to run all that. I just would want to do the comic book part. Will I ever work at a comic book store? I might do that for funsies. You know, like I would do it for free, and I get to pull a book off the wall every so often of my choosing. I mean,
you guys know that I went up to visit Gary B, you know, a few months ago up in Rochester, New York. And he works at a comic book shop. And honestly, he does it for fun. And he, you know, does it on the side. And him and I went into that comic book shop, and he's talking to the owners and talking to, you know, all the customers. And like, he really seemed to be like in his little groove there, you know, in the comic book shops. I could see that being a lot of fun. But Stephanie, to answer your question, or not to answer, but to follow up on your statement about people like that connection, I have LCSs around me, and I know the owners. I'd like them, but I have my pull list with an online comic book shop out of Chicago because they give me a really good deal. They package my comics nicely. There's a service that they'll give me higher grade books so that I don't have damaged books. I got a frog in my throat here. So, like, not every comic shop has to be, you know, brick and mortar.
Yeah, Reggie collects. He come up and he says that if you own a comic book shop, you're stuck there all day, every day, which is a good point. You know, like, it's like owning a shop, a bar, or anything. You know, owning something like that you have to be there all day, every day is a big thing. You got to really love it.
I grew up. My grandparents owned a bar, and this bar back years and years before my grandparents owned it, it was actually a hotel. It was a big building, and we lived in the upstairs of it, and the bar was downstairs, and, you know, there was like a separate residence, but, you know, you had the bar stuff too. But anyhow, I watched my grandparents, and they were both, you know, older. They weren't retired yet, but it was like an anchor around their neck. My grandfather, he worked a job during the day. He was a chemist, but he would come home, he'd bartend. My grandmother, she was like stuck to it all day long. Like, you're there all day long. Reggie's right on that. And it's nice to be able to like get away and have that freedom, you know. But a business like that, like an LCS shop, there's no clock that you're beholden to. Like, you have a job, you need to get it done. And it doesn't matter if it takes you 23 hours a day to get it done. You're going to be working it. So, no, I really wouldn't want a comic shop as my own for retirement because you're stuck to it.
All right. Let's point out that 1G changed the color of his logo.
Yeah.
I have to say the blue, I think of the blue ocean. That's what comes to my mind, that it went from red to blue.
You know, I saw him do that a few days ago. Yesterday. Was it yesterday? Sometime over this weekend. I actually kind of like the blue, okay? But you can see the walls in my room here. They're blue. So I kind of, you know, I'm a little partial to blue. But, you know, it's just weird seeing Reggie not red emblems. So that's kind of wild.
Yep.
But
all right. I think we're plumb out.
I think we hit the past an hour point. I think we've had a great time. This chat is absolutely awesome. Although Steve White hit his limit. But so hey,
Our
guys,
work here is
Don't
done.
drink and drive, Steve.
Our work here is
Right.
done.
but hey, everyone in the chat, appreciate you guys coming out. You know, Steve, Stephanie, the comic book Marauders. Everyone have a great night.
Night.
Hey.